And we are live, aliens, and I can see there are 19 people watching this. In fact, they are waiting for this video, and 17 likes on the video. In fact, that means everyone is excited. That's awesome.
including me.
And yeah, including you, Abhishek. That's great. And I can see some messages in the chat window. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so I can see 19 people are waiting, still waiting. Oh, I guess it is not getting refreshed properly. Come on, Google, you have to work on this. Okay, finally, I guess it is properly doing. Okay, 24 people are watching this.
Great.
That's great. Oh, awesome. So it's going up and up. So watching ratio is going up. So great, Abhishek. Okay, so everyone, okay, so here we have Abhishek from the data warehouse industry, and he has lots of experience here. In fact, okay, so even before going for the introduction, let me just talk about why we are doing this. Okay, what's the idea behind this thing? Okay, so let me just go in this way. So what happened, I was talking about lots of things, that, okay, I think I should remove this. It's echoing in my own ears. Okay, so, but I should put that as well. Okay, I'll use only one side. That will be better. Okay, so I was thinking about this from a long time, that industry experience is different. I mean, industry knowledge is different from the college knowledge. And I was having this chat with Abhishek. In fact, we had a chat, and Abhishek was suggesting that this is something we should be improving in the industry. This is something we should be improving in the college life, and not being very specific. See, the thing is, he's working in the industry and from a long time, and he has a different way of thinking towards education or towards knowledge, right? And that's very important to share those things also. So here we have Abhishek here. He is, I mean, he's very excited to share his knowledge. It's not exactly a lecture kind of thing where you will say, hey, this is how you have to behave, or this is how you have to do. That's not the case here. The idea here is
That's true.
we want to share what we think about education, what we think about how you should learn for the industry, how you should prepare yourself for the industry, because there are lots of freshers, they're not getting job because of different reasons. We will try to tackle some of the reasons here, and we'll try to make you understand what you can do in your life, right? Or what you can do to improve yourself. So finally, let me introduce Abhishek here, and enough of talk from my side. It's all about Abhishek now. And let me just show Abhishek here, and here we go, Abhishek. It's all you now.
Hey guys, a very big hi from me. My name is Abhishek, and I came in contact with Naveen couple of weeks back. I mean, it was really a very fruitful discussion which we had, and I'm into the data warehouse industry, not industry, but a data warehouse stream for last 8 years, and we were having discussion on can I get my experience into picture in terms of guiding and how things are a bit different, what and how it looks in the real industry standards, and how it feels, how things work in companies, and it's pretty different than what's been taught in college. And then we decided to go live today. So here we are, and I would be open to any type of questions, Naveen, to help as much as people we can, in terms of exposing the myth that has been there behind the books being really restricted to few things. And so it's all up to you, Naveen. So I'm open for the questions.
Oh, okay, that's great. So I guess everything. Okay, so okay, before starting, I guess people are facing some issues here. That video is not clear. Okay, so first of all, guys, this is a live session, and in live session we do get these issues. Okay, I'm trying my best to stream as best quality as possible. Okay, in fact, Abhishek is using best broadcast, best what is the best
Best
bandwidth?
broadband.
Yeah, best broadband. So uh, since there is issue with the network, maybe there's some issue with the compression technique or maybe other technique here. And let me just do some more setting. Let's see how it goes. I do have some settings here just to make sure that everything goes good. Just give me a sec here. I have advanced setting and okay. Equals slow mo. No, that's not the setting. Which one? Optimize for less buffering. That will be good. No, that will be low latency. Optimize for less viewer buffering. Okay, let me just do this setting and let's see how it goes. Okay, I've just changed some setting here. Okay, so let's start, Abhishek, and here we go. So this is your first question. Okay, this is not here. Okay, this is more of a discussion what you think about thing. So I thought about these questions, just to fire you up, so that
Sure.
I feel people working in industry, they are like a well, right, full of water. It's just that we need someone who can just pull those water, right? So I'm trying to do that, Abhishek.
You have come to the correct well.
Great. Okay. So I'm saying my face. Okay. Yeah. So the first question to you, Abhishek, is we always hear this thing with there's something was data, and then we have a concept of big data. Again, there are lots of freshers. They know this thing, right? Big data is the next thing, and then somewhere we talk about information technology, which is IT. Everything it deals with the data, right? So what do you think? What's the difference between data and big data? Or you can also touch upon the data warehouse concept, how it is linked, and I want to know your views on that. Data versus big data.
Sure. So basically everything which we have around us, right? So the grocery market, and you have bought some groceries, you have got some data along with you in terms of receipts. If you are going if you're going to a petrol pump and refilling your petrol and those, you are providing data to the petrol pump in terms of how many liters went in. If you're making a transaction, you're providing data to banks. So basically it's all data everywhere. Now the thing was, the big data came into existence quite well before. It's not a term which is now any more new to anyone. But the thing is that with the growing technology, with the evolution in the technology, now the earlier the data which people were really interested in was like, okay, transaction details, get us the customer details, and all these very basic kind of data which wasn't there. But then the real, when for example, if I take the concept of black box, which is there in the aircrafts, if you see that is actually been recording each and every flight, each and every second. Yeah. And then you look at Facebook. We are posting things over there like anything. And now the best example is the YouTube live streaming, which we are having right now. Getting data. So the thing is, the big data comes into picture where the demand for when even the definition of the data changed. So when we used to have the data, it was all in terms of, those fancy tables where you can actually in rows, columns. But then they said, no, we want to store pictures, movies, we want to store videos, we want to store any kind of unstructured kind of a data. So then the concept of unstructured kind of data came into picture. And then the companies were like, okay, we want to store even the unstructured data. And then the concept of big data came. Okay, if you are going to do that, then let's do it using big data, and then all the analytics and all those things. Now there are so many platforms, and where you can actually analyze the data which is being coming in terms of petabytes for a day. Now imagine the data centers and all, how much data is being stored. So that's basically the history and the difference between the data and the big data is. Big data looks like a very fancy term, but it is nothing. It's just like collecting any kind of data. It could be images, videos, live streaming, black box audio recordings. it's just not the name of a customer. We used to have an employee table, a customer table. It's just not about that. It's about any kind of data, and we do need those for analytics. So coming on to the data warehouse concepts, which you were saying. So I'm from an electronics background in the college, but then when I stepped into the industry, I actually came to know about the data warehousing. Why is it so important? The data warehousing, and when we read books in colleges, it has been like restricted in terms of definitions. That as soon as you say, okay, I'm a data warehouse there is you can you should have facts,
Oh, I guess there's a lag.
you have
There's a lag.
of dimensions, you have slowly changing and all those. When I stepped into the industry, then I know that the real data warehousing is just it uses all these definitions, but if this in a very simple language, it is that we want to access data for analytics, for analysis as possible. We don't want to delay. We don't want to be lazy. We just want to be smart enough to get the data analyzed and presented as soon as possible. So then they came up with data warehousing concept that, okay, we have, and if you do a star schema, or if you store it like this, then you get the data, you can retrieve the data as soon as possible out of the behind the data warehouse, and not just reason why we have dimensions. That's the reason why we have facts, so that we can join and we can get the data as soon as possible. It's just designing the storing of data in the most efficient way is what data warehousing is all about.
Okay, that's great, Abhishek. And I guess somewhere in between, the network was going off and there was a lag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just to summarize what I heard from you, I guess I'm seeing lots of messages there that the sound is not clear and is lagging. Okay, so just to let everyone knows that it's not just about network issue. Okay, when you say there's something is lagging, it's not just about network issue. There are lots of parameters which comes into picture. Okay,
Yeah,
there's some server sitting in between.
No, I think since it's a live streaming going on, so
yeah,
it would appear as a bit lag here, but when you try to see the video finally on the YouTube, then it would be pretty fine.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah,
because it's
and
recording
the thing is,
and
we
it's
are sitting
doing
in two different
the
locations
upstream as well. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So what I heard from you is in the entire thing is we have a thing called as data, and everyone. I mean, the software industry is working on data, right? I mean, think about any software. Think about any industry. Yeah, exactly. So everything is based on data. In fact, I feel we should change our name from software engineer to data engineer, because what we do in the entire career is we work with data. Even if you are the network engineer, why you're building networks for data, right? So I feel data is very important. And as you mentioned, big data is not a new thing. It's there from a long time now. And we are generating huge amount of data, right? The data kind of, unstructured data mostly. And when it comes to data warehouse, it is more structured way of data, right?
It's more structured way of data, but the thing which I was mentioning was that when we go into the definitions and terms which are in there, which has been like, okay, we have dimensions. So there are only we have the changing dimensions, slowly changing dimensions, junk dimensions. So these are all definitions which are been there, but nobody actually explains why we need it, what's meant by junk dimension. We know, okay, there is a concept called this, but we don't know how it's been used. And the example which has been given over there is just from an employee table and a customer table, and then it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work in the industry. So that needs to be reformed. But so the definition is definitely important, but we should also know what is slowly changing, what is changing in a dimension. I know, I mean, the example which I read in my college time was that um, if the person changes his address, then that's a changing dimension, correct? But on a broader term, why do we even need a dimension? Why do we even need fact, and why, and all these things? So I think what data warehousing suggest and say is that use me to get the data as soon as possible.
Okay.
Database. Rest of the terms comes
Yeah.
that okay.
Okay. And with that thing, when you said customer table and the employee table, we are a big fan of that. Okay. Okay. Even when I want to take an example somewhere, I'll just talk. I don't know why it stuck to my mind. Employee, department,
Yeah,
customer. That's it.
yeah. It's
Right.
there in all
With
the
that, I
books
have
as
a
well.
question. Yeah, it is there on all the books. With that, I have a question for you. Why? I mean, what is the importance of SQL in the industry? Since we are Java developers, right, and we are very proud of it. I'm a developer, but
Yeah.
then the moment when I work on a project and someone says, "Hey, we should also know SQL." So, what do you think? How much important SQL is in the industry?
Sure. So before I touch on to SQL, I would say that the ultimate goal of data warehousing is to improve your business intelligence. And intelligence is such a key concept for the industry to find out how we're gonna perform even in next 5 years, probably to forecast that. Now, SQL, the I would say it's a best tool which was being used to play around with data, and SQL is something um, which is really so important for retrieving the data out of the key informations. I mean, through SQL we are generating reports. Through SQL, that's the main language which I would say we had to. There is a concept of like vectors, arrays, matrices, two-dimensional arrays. But then when SQL concept came, in terms of having those two-dimensional arrays in actually in rows and columns, entire thing was so easy that you can actually play around with the data. You can actually retrieve the data, build such important reports which would be so useful for the company, and all those things. So the other thing is that SQL is really important because it also gives you so many options. So you can be a data scientist if you know it. I mean, you need to know the programming language apart from that as well. But just imagine that you can be a data scientist, you can be a database developer, you can be an application engineer, you can be someone who is just even if someone who is doing some on the SSAS or the analysis services side, you can be an analyst, you can be anything. I mean, it gives you career perspective. SQL gives you a lot of options. I mean, I know that now we have got with the concept of big data. I can actually give you an example. So see, when Hadoop came into picture, yeah, then they also introduced Hive, which was for SQL developers from SDFS. So it was so important, you could feel that they had to release Hive solution. If you want to access the data, the SDFS data, which is there on the big data, which is SDFS data from Hadoop, then for the SQL developers, they had to introduce Hive as well. So it is very, very important. And if you go into any industry, it's databases. Wherever there is database, there is SQL, and is the most, I would say.
Okay, that's great, that's great, Abhishek. So that simply means that it doesn't matter who you are, right, in the industry. Maybe a tech person, maybe a developer, maybe a database administrator. Okay, I want to show my face at least at once. So yeah, so it doesn't matter who you are. Database, I mean SQL, knowing SQL is very important, right? So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
which field you are working on. So knowing SQL will always help you, right? The
Definitely.
future is SQL, right? It is present also.
Yeah, it's been past as
Right.
well. The only thing is now, so after being into like 8 years into data warehouse, I'm learning Java. so so it's like if you combine SQL with the programming, it's so powerful that you could do wonders.
Oh, great. So with that, I have a next question for you. In
Sure.
fact, I do remember when I was working for some companies, and then when I was taking trainings as well, and when I was taking some lateral batches, I mean, some of the people, they were from BI, which is business intelligence, and then they
Yeah.
wanted to go for development, and then we also got some vacancies. In fact, I was offered a job for BI, and I was knowing nothing about that. I was like, okay, I want to be a developer. I don't want to go into business. That's weird, right? But then later I realized there are lots of importance of BI. So I want to know from you. In fact, my participants here, they will be excited for this. So what do you think? What exactly BI is, according to you, of course?
So yeah, so BI is it stands for business intelligence, and these two words are self-explanatory. So basically, business intelligence is such an important aspect for any business or for any industry that you cover your company's performance, you cover your company's forecast, you cover almost, I mean, it's basically an intelligence kind of a thing where you go, I mean, your analysts or your data scientists and all these people, they actually they go and then they analyze, and through business intelligence we come to know that how the industry is really performing. I mean, so for example, I'll just take an example. So then you would find the traffic of data. I mean, you are getting the data. It's like enormous amount of data every hour. So since you are getting so huge amount of data, then in terms of you need a business intelligence department. If you have that, that business intelligence department would actually take care of the thing that how your website is performing. Is it a really hit? Is it a real hit in the market or not? And that we do, and that's the way it's been done. That is like you need to make reports every day. You need even, so for example, if you did some change, if you release some change into your website on day 31, and on the day 32 your traffic is just dropped down. So then you need to know what exactly caused that, yeah, from the data. So if it really went down on how you're performing, or even say you want to know that how many visitors you would have, or say your website, how much whatever metrics you can build up of, like orders, or if you are a training, if you have a training website, then how many enrollments you are expecting in like next 5 years. For that, you can do that based on the current data which you are getting, and that's how the data warehousing gives you the complete picture of the way you can retrieve that data and then put your algorithms and then build some forecast data for next 5 years for your say training website or something like that. So that's why business intelligence, that's the area where business intelligence comes into picture, where it gives where by using the intelligence term, it means that you can play around with the data and then bring some useful reports and metrics which are very key to business, for businesses to identify how they're going to perform, how they are performing, and how they performed in the past.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you, Abhishek. That's good. And yeah, so okay, for everyone, this is my nephew. Okay, he was in there. Smile. Okay. Yeah. So it's time for the next question. Okay. Let me just leave this guy. Enjoy. Play. Go. Ja, Amma ke paas ja. Okay. So here we go for the next question. And okay. So once we have talked about SQL and BI, which I was never heard about before, the next thing is let's get very technical now. Okay. And that technical thing is. Uh, Okay, I was kidding. The thing is, see, if we talk about students, I mean, if we talk about the knowledge, okay, let's ignore student. Let's talk about the knowledge. What do you think? What's the difference between college knowledge and industry knowledge? What is recommended, or I mean, what do you recommend for students to learn apart
So,
from what
so
they're
the
learning in
diff
college?
sure. So the difference is, imagine you're traveling in a bus and I'm in a flight and I just cross you. Between me and you is the distance between the things which are there being taught in college and what are there in the industries. So it's like it's a huge difference what I've seen. The thing is, the colleges, they teach pretty well, I would say, but the problem is that the industry exposure we only get when we get, yeah, and then it's really essential for students, in my opinion, in their college life. Now we have got like projects which have been given by colleges, where they say, okay, this is your summer intern project. You go to the company which you choose, and then you get that thing and submit it to us. Now I'm pretty sure that most, like 80% of people, they just do it for just for the sake of submitting the project. But I don't see. So the thing is, and the reason is because the syllabus which we have in the books, yeah, that is not in the same, I would say. It's the technology, it's growing exponentially, but the syllabus in the books are not. So the and the other thing is that if you are going through, so for example, if you are going through a subject, if you are going through key terms, now there is no place where someone would actually come to you and say, hey, can you come up, or turn up to the company once, and then we would show you how these terms which you are actually studying, that how they are implemented in the real world. So I would say the book, the knowledge which has been there in the colleges, that is key knowledge, that is still essential, it's good, but it's just for getting some marks. So I would find the education system to be more successful only if, say for example, if I've been taught Java, until and unless I build something in Java personally, something like a very useful kind of a thing, um, then it's beneficial. Otherwise it's just about going through books and just writing that in the exam and getting marks, and then coming into industry and say, oh, okay, hang on, this is a production environment, this is a lab environment, and this is how this is how things work in the back end of websites. This is how things work in the back end of the cellular providers. Now just imagine, I mean, we come to know, and then we say, okay, we are still learning, but um, we go with the learning attitude. But then learning attitude is really essential. You should always stay foolish and stay hungry, as what Steve Jobs say. But uh, the other thing is, you should be contributing something into anything which you are learning. Otherwise it's a waste. Then if you have to learn everything once you join a company, then what the 4 years which you just studied, I think you should take the max out of that. You should do something useful, and build something. I mean, the reason why there are so many startups which are coming now, because people, they don't rely on companies really to show their talent. They are doing it. They're building something. Even college dropouts, they are doing it. They are building websites. They are learning things, because thanks to Google and all the open source tutorials, and the free learning which is happening, which is really accessible for people. Yeah, I know. Thanks. Yeah, especially Telusko learnings. So this is so the reason why people are, you could imagine the reason why people are so much connected to you is just because I think there is something missing in the colleges, isn't it? I mean, colleges should teach that how the things work in real world, and to understand that concept, there are books which should be, a helping hand in understanding that, and should not be the only hand which they are right now in colleges. So that's the biggest difference which I have seen in colleges and the industry.
Okay. So, in fact, something from my side as well. What I feel, there should be a seminar or a project every week or once in a month for the students from
Yeah,
the industry, from the industry people. I guess, especially in India, we have this problem. We always think that we should be providing them with an industry exposure. In fact, I have seen many colleges now. They take these people to IB, right, which is industrial visit. And what they do is they take them to Manali, Shimla. I don't know. I don't understand what they are doing with this. Taking to picnic. So I guess, in fact, I have talked to some of the colleges, and they said it is very difficult to connect with companies, and they don't allow you,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
so the thing is, that is very true, and they are very right at their end, because companies, they work in a classified mode. And it's against companies' policies to share anything and all. So, but the thing is, we should not really, go to a company to see what they are exactly doing, because no company would ever do that, expose the way they're working. But the thing which I was mentioning was that should look for the people who are experienced in the industry, who are working, and they should come. So if we can't go to the industry due to the restrictions or the policies and all those things, then we should look for people which should come to the college, and then guide students in terms of, for example, if they have a subject in third year or second year, say so if they have a subject called data warehousing, so there should be some guy who should be using data warehousing for, say, so many years. And I'm sure, if colleges start approaching people, and I know it would be a bit tough, but it's all about money as well. But if it's been uh, an initiative from the college to reach people who have experience, then I don't think so there would be any problem when those people come to college and provide that experience to students. And these days setting up anything just for an education, just for a tutorial purpose, it is so damn easy, that you have your virtual box, you have VMwares where you can build up virtual machines, to set up anything. And then you have got so many open source softwares which are available, which you can install, and you can do anything. So if, for example, if you want to do SQL, you have got so many things through which you can even have servers. You can build that on your machine. You can do it. It's just that someone needs to tell you that if you do that, and let's build something, let's build a project, let's do it, and see all the challenges which we'll face in that project. That kind of learning and solving challenges should be there in the companies, oh sorry, in the colleges.
Okay, that's a great tip. In fact, I think the same thing. Company industry people should go to colleges to get the experience.
Yes, they should.
Okay. Oh, great. And okay, okay. So I have one question from one of the person here in the chat,
Hmm.
and I want to know how you comfortable with this question. What is the role of Informatica in data warehousing?
So yeah, sure. So I started my career as an Informatica developer. so so yeah. So the thing is, Informatica is an ETL tool, and it's the the good thing about Informatica is that they have evolved as the technologies, as the demand, as the data revolution which has happened in the last few years, Informatica has evolved as well. So it's basically an ETL tool which helps you to do extract, transform, and load. It's basically I always like to speak in layman terms, not in these typical business designed terms. So it's basically nothing but taking the data out and then cleansing it and then loading it in a star schema or in a very well designed database format where people can actually grab the data and quickly get the results what they want to. So and then Informatica as a tool it was really helpful for the companies for which I work for. I'm from currently, if it's like for past few years, I've been not been that much linked to Informatica now, but it is a great ETL tool, what I would say.
Okay. Thanks for the answer, Abhishek.
No worries.
I hope so. This question was from Satyajit, if I'm not wrong. The next question is, in India especially, we are getting lots of messages, especially I can say media or Facebook. Everyone we can see, that there's a huge layoff. So do you find the same thing in London or any other place, or what you're thinking about?
So I never believe in these layoffs and all those things, because the thing is, just think that you don't know anything about it. Yeah, you are like a PK, right, who has just landed on Earth, and you just don't know about anything. Now, just from that mindset, just think. Companies, they need people who are great, who can think in a very smart way, who are intelligent enough to provide the maximum profit to their companies. And if there is if there is a layoff, and then someone who is immensely talented has been laid off from the company, could be hired by any other company for sure. Forget the thing that technology, as fast as the technology going on a revolution, the days are also getting increased, right? So say for example, the only thing what we do is that if say we got an offer from a startup, right, we just say, okay, I don't know what that company even is, I don't know, maybe I should join that or not, and then we go with the big companies as well. So but I have met people who are there in big companies, but they are not very happy with what they are doing. It's just that they want to be secured. And then I also know people who have been associated to startups, and it's like they're not being a startup, but the kind of exposure of work which they are having, that is great. So laying off from a company is actually not a laying off from your talent is there. So I would say I never believe in, even if I know that okay, there is an attrition going and he has 1,000 employees, this and that. So nothing can stop you. If say every company laid off everyone, is jobless, you should have a confidence that you, out of your talent, you can your own to all laying off and all these things.
Okay. There's a lag, Abhishek.
I mean, is it still there? Can you hear me?
So can you hear me, right, Abhishek?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, there's a lag. There's a video lag. I can hear your voice properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
I think
a great
that's
a great thing.
It should be fine now, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for all the answers. I just have one more thing for you.
Sure.
As an industry person working there from a long time and working on different domains, in fact, domain knowledge is also important, right? So
Yeah.
what are the messages you want to give to students? Because there's a very big family now, Telusko Learnings, and everyone has a lots of hope. So what you give them as a suggestion or a tip, which they will include in their curriculum or in their life, which will be helpful for them when they join a company.
Sorry, Naveen. I think you'll have to repeat your question because
Okay, there's a lag, right?
the yeah, there was a lag. Sorry.
Okay, the question is, okay. So what tip you want to give to the students? Because we have a huge family here of approximately 65,000 subscribers now, and they
Yeah.
have having lots of hope now. So any tip which you want to give to them, which will be helpful for them, as you're working in the industry from a long time. So any tip from
Sure.
your side?
Sure. So basically, the first tip is have confidence in what you're knowing, because the way you can do is that now you have Google. So I mean, you have so many sources through which you can gain knowledge. Just don't stick to the bookish knowledge. Find what's the real purpose of these definitions which are there in the books are. Why do we need it? I mean, I'm damn sure that there would be so many blogs which have been written on each and every definition or each and every bold letter in a book on the Google. So try to build your knowledge basics very strong, right? And then the second tip is and the second tip is that don't study just to score high marks. Study. I mean, you would find it really helpful if you are in college right now. That if you have passed out the college, then it's a different thing. But if you are still in the college, then just try to find the real purpose of being in a college. It is score score high marks. Excuse me. Just not score high marks, but try to build something out of the knowledge which you are gaining. That if you build something, I am damn sure you're going to score high in your subjects. So so don't worry about that you have to just score high marks. Just think that you are learning something for some benefit which you have to contribute in the society one or the other day. So you learn today and then you contribute tomorrow. So go with that attitude, and then I'm damn sure if you're contributing to the society in terms of making a app or making a tool, making anything, then you know the concepts. Then only you will be able to make, right? So you know the concept, you build something, and then when it comes to writing in the exams, it would be just like, it would be that you are the expert. You know everything. You just go and you just write it over there. But it would for you in terms of how you think, in terms of how you deal with the challenges, because it's a challenge right now. I could feel, and if you are able to do this, then you can face any challenge in your life. The people who have passed out the college and who are looking for a job, my tip would be that have confidence on yourself, have confidence on your talent. If you think you are not good enough, and if you're just looking for a job so that just someone can just hire you just like that, then your knowledge as much as possible. Try to again work on something. Come out. You have time right now. It's once you go into an industry, then you have to take the domain knowledge as well, and then you have to relate it with what you are doing. But right now you have this is the right period. If don't think if somebody is not hiring you that you are not. Probably you are I mean, every one of us is so powerful that if we get to know our talent, our limits, it is just like you will become unstoppable, and then you can just build anything. You can probably build a company. You don't need anyone to hire you, and then you would be hiring people. Who knows? So there have been many instances which I have seen. So get inspired from them. And then people who have just the industries, and then who are just being placed. The thing is that yes, domain knowledge is really important, and domain knowledge is something through which you contribute to the company apart from the technical knowledge which you have. So once you get the domain knowledge, and then the way you come up with ideas, you suggest plans, you suggest that, okay, I know in the health industry this is how it's been done, but why not we do it like this? This would be really helpful. This is, and then with that knowledge, I'm sure you connect with most of the people. If you have only technical knowledge, you are only connected to people who have technical knowledge, but once you have domain knowledge, you can also be connected to people who are analysts, who are working on that domain, people who are setting up the requirements. You can easily connect with them, and then it would be really, really good for your career path.
Okay, so thank you so much, Abhishek. In fact, I'm looking for more sessions like this because I can see there are lots of questions here on the chat, YouTube chat.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's very difficult for me to track everything. So I'm sure, I mean, I hope you are also excited for this, for one more session in future.
Fingers
For
crossed.
different domain, for different things. Today we are focused only on data part, data warehouse. We'll try to have some more sessions like this, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always there. I mean, before we say anything more, I would just say that through you, it's a privilege to talk to you right now, because I could see, because what I want to do for people is like, people don't have time to really share the knowledge. People don't have time to really, spend some time with people, and make them understand how things go. People are not willing to contribute that much, but I got that motivation by, I mean, the way you explain things, it was so clear that I thought that it's really good to connect with you. And we will definitely have more sessions for sure due to that. And I think if people think that this is really useful for them to know about what's going on and how they can, or they should do. uh, Again, nobody can define how one should study, how one should work, how one should do all these things, but it may be that helpful for those who are just who think that, okay, if we come to know how things work, then probably it would give a kick to our learning process, and then we would be back on track.
Oh, that's great then. So thank you so much, Abhishek, for your
My
time.
pleasure.
I've taken 1 hour of you, so sorry for that. And thank you for being a
No,
part of this live session. We got lots of knowledge, I'm sure. It was helpful for lots of people here. And I got to know something more for my thing. I will be using that for my offline sessions, like maybe
sure.
when I go for corporate training.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Abhishek. We'll be doing this more in future with some good different content.
Sure.
And hope to see you again here.
Sure. I mean, it's a privilege again. And thanks to all the viewers. And I hope that I have answered most of the things which would be like, I have pinged on the bubbles which were wandering in the mind, in terms of, we call them as confused bubbles. So those confusions should have been gone to some extent, and we would be coming up with more content. I would be working with Naveen on that offline. And yes, it's
Sure,
a
Abhishek.
privilege
In fact, I
again.
can see
Thank you so
67
much.
likes for this video and 91 people still watching. So people are coming and going. So consistency, we are getting more than 85 views. So that's great. That's a good number. Okay. Okay, Abhishek.
Cool.
Thank you so much. We'll see you. We'll join soon again. Thank you, everyone on YouTube. I can see lots of comments there. So the questions which are based on some other thing like Java
Take
and all
care,
those
and take
things,
care, all
we'll be
viewers.
taking
Bye-bye.
this once again later. Okay, so I'll be doing one more live session to answer your questions though. So stay tuned. We'll be doing a live session on coming Saturday to answer all those remaining questions, which is related to Java and different things.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Signing off. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.